Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Reno and I am your boss babe queen. Now in this video, I shall be answering a series of questions because I did ask everyone to send through questions. I asked this on my social media pages. So if you're not following me on social media, go follow me at Rowena_Robinson. All right, I want to thank everyone who has sent in questions, and I also want to thank you for stopping by this video and watching. Please do press the like button. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, and do share this with everyone, and the algorithm can push my video and my contents out more. All right, thank you so much for watching, and I hope that this video allows you to get to know me a bit more, all right, without further ado, let's jump into the questions. So first question: what is the most memorable moment of your wedding day? What is the most memorable moment of my wedding day? Oh, this is a hard one because I did enjoy every aspect of my wedding day. If I were to choose one, the most memorable moment of my wedding day. Oh, this is hard. This is really hard. I would say maybe the church ceremony. I think that was what I was most nervous for because I wasn't sure how it's going to turn out. Like, we did have a practice and so forth, but there were aspects of it I was still quite nervous about, and just how seamlessly it went and how it flowed, and yeah, everything. I think that was the most memorable for me because it was just the right blend of funny, sentimental, like moving, and a bit of the roller flavor, you know what I mean? So I think that for me, and it just took a huge weight because when I was like, yo, this is done, like that's it, like trust me, everyone involved really made the day flow, and for me that was the most memorable, I would say. Cool. Next question: what's the next big goal you want to accomplish? Remember, one of my goals starting this year was to get monetized on this channel. We have done that big. I'm gonna probably do another video dedicated to that by itself. That was a goal, and I'm happy I did that. Even the wedding going okay, that was another goal. But my next big goal would be to get in a routine of managing all the different aspects of my new normal now. I feel like I haven't been on top of my two channels, so I've been doing better on my main channel. I've been putting out videos and so forth, but I haven't been doing or keeping it up on my second channel, which is where I get the most collabs from, like all these hair videos and so forth. So I need to be pushing more content out there, and like at work, making sure that I feel like I'm doing, I'm making an impact at work, and then in my life, like I'm trying to balance it all. I think it may not be a big goal for some, but for me, I want to have the right balance between all of those aspects. So for me, my biggest goal is finding a nice balance between personal life, business life, and also whatever I want to post on YouTube on both channels, and making some extra income from those. How is married life so far? Married life so far is actually really, really nice, and I am so happy, and I am thankful every day for that, and I continually thank God for that. I haven't been disappointed. My husband is amazing. We had the same relationship. Actually not the same. We've just gotten a lot closer, and it's just become more special, and our bond is a lot stronger. And we're not living together. It's almost 3 full months that we've been living together now. So like, it's just really nice, and I haven't had any surprises. People say, oh, living with someone is different to like us dating. But remember, we have known each other for over 7 years now, to be honest. We've been friends for 3 years before we got into a relationship. We've been in a relationship over 4 years, and we're now married more than 3 months now. So far, so good. Honestly, I would totally recommend marriage. I would say find your person. And not just find your person, make sure that you guys have values which align. You don't have to be the same, because me and my husband are very different. We have different interests, we have different goals, different aspirations in certain things, but we do have a common and essential like moral compass and our foundation is the same, church, love God, love family, and that, like, our foundation is solid in that. And then of course we're our own individual self. That's another thing I love. We haven't lost each other in each other, and I think that that's beautiful. We've remained our individual self through all this, and it just makes life more interesting because there are things that he's interested in that I would have never ever been interested in. And yeah, that's really nice to see. So how's my life so far? I love it. I would recommend, if you want to do it, because I appreciate not everyone wants to get married and it's not for everybody, but it's nice so far. Another question is, what face products do you use to avoid breakouts or dryness, especially in the winter? I'm not one of them girlies that will tell you that I have a facial routine. I don't have a skincare routine, and I am not one of them girlies. I would not lie to you. I think the simpler you keep it, the better for your skin. All these extra stuff, I feel like sometimes they can help you to break out even more. What I would say is wash your face, all right? Moisturize, and keep it extremely simple. Moisturize, like when I was growing up, we always got told, like, listen, cocoa butter, always good for your skin. Like them little things. I think if you want to stay moisturized, especially in the cold countries, use something that is very moisturizing. Cocoa butter tends to be extremely moisturizing, or something that works with your skin. So test out different things, different moisturizers. The less fragrance it has, the better for you. The less chemical products is the better. It's less harsh on your skin. And just test out and try what works for you. Honestly, I literally use my lotion. I'm actually using Aveeno, and it's a daily moisturizing creamy oil. It softens normal to dry skin. This is what I'm using currently on my face. And I also do have this vitamin C serum that I bought in like Boots. A vitamin C serum, just because I do have discoloration on my face. So I do have like acne scars. And I want to get those lightened up, so the vitamin C helps with that. But I wash my face with the Clean and Clear daily wash, the grapefruit one, the pink one, and then I put on that little serum, the vitamin C serum, and then I put Aveeno on. And it's Aveeno because it's my lotion now. This is what I use on my body, and it can be different things depending on what lotion I'm choosing, because whatever works on my body should be able to work for my face, So I think the simpler, the better, honestly. Yeah, hope that helps. Next question. As a newlywed, has your expectations of marriage changed or stayed the same? My personal expectation of marriage has stayed the same. I like actually being in a marriage now. So what I assumed marriage to be versus what it is now, thankfully they have aligned and they have remained the same. I think your expectation of marriage would be based on two things. One, what you grew up to know or hear of marriage, and then like enshrined with your own personal beliefs after having read God's word and understand what marriage should be, and then who your partner is, then there are other aspects that play a part into marriage as well. And I definitely recommend you having premarital counseling. We did have premarital counseling. My pastor did. We had sessions, and we discussed stuff, and it was really good, enlightening, and that does play a major factor, especially if you're not one of them who, like me, because I like most of the things that we discussed in premarital counseling, Mervyn and I were already discussing prior to that. But that's just how the person I am. I love asking questions and getting down to the nitty gritty. My friends will tell you that. But if you're not someone like that and you don't really think about stuff and you don't want to ask or be uncomfortable with, very straightforward questions, I would say go for premarital counseling, because it does enlighten you. And it makes you think on topics that otherwise you probably wouldn't have thought about. So for me, because of who my partner was and because the understanding we had of each other, not only that, because we're friends first, I think that helped. That played a major role, because when you're friends, like, and you're talking, you're not trying to impress the other person. Whereas maybe you go in situations where you're never friends first, you're just in it to be like into a relationship. Then maybe you are more careful with your answers because you're trying to impress the person. As a friend, listen, this is who I am. This is, take me as is. And I think that did help, definitely help, because we was never trying to impress each other at first. We eventually got into a relationship, but it was because everything was making sense. So thankfully, because of how I understood marriage to be, plus who my person was, when I envisioned marriage without or before I was married, it is still the same. We're still very playful. It is still lovely. My marriage is how I think marriages should be. Like, yeah, your partner is your friend. Like, you should feel happy to come home. You should miss him when he's gone. Like, you should have this interdependence on each other, but still remaining independent in your own self, but still, you've become one, but you do not lose your uniqueness and your identity in the other person. And I'm loving how my marriage is. So, yeah, my idea of marriage has not changed. And we praise God. Thank Jesus. Next question. How many times a day do you think about food? This is from my little sister. She thinks I'm a foodie. And I can see why. I do love food. I don't look like it because I'm so tall and skinny, but I promise you that's because of genetics. My dad is very tall, very skinny, and we have very fast metabolism. And you can see it with my sisters. It's not just me. Like, we all tend to be tall and skinny and so forth and so forth. So I do think about food, but not a lot. So how many times a day do I think about food? I can't give you a certain number, but I will not lie to you. When the food is here and it's there, I do enjoy it. And I'm not ashamed to enjoy my food. Like, I am making noises, I'm dancing. Like, sometimes my sister will call me and she's like, yo, you're a foodie, and then she'll be watching my other vlogs and she's like, even my honeymoon vlogs, she's like, yeah, you're a foodie, girl. You're a foodie. So that's where that question came from. In case somebody was like, why would you get asked that? All right, so next question. Have you ever been let down by someone in your life? Definitely. I think as humans, we're not perfect, and it should be expected. Like, no, you don't go around and expect that people will disappoint you, but the fact is, more than likely it will happen because we're all humans, and sometimes we don't even mean to disappoint people, but we just do. So I have been definitely let down by persons in my life. Next question. Have you ever confided in a sibling or a friend and regretted it at any point in time? Most definitely. And most definitely for both. So I have confided in a sibling and regretted it because I then later on heard about it. And then I also confided in a friend and later on heard about it again. As I mentioned, there are people in it. So people disappoint people. And I'm pretty sure I've done it as well. I'm sure I've disappointed someone. So I'm not even going to take it too harshly or too personal. I feel like I'm now at a stage where, like, I will share things, but I'm very selective with who I share it with. And I have tested and proven my little circle, so I know who to trust in certain aspects. And even when I do trust people, I still do take it with a pinch of salt, because I'm like, people are people at the end of the day, and the only person that's reliable is Jesus, is God, so still gotta take it with a pinch of salt, because people can still disappoint you regardless of whether you trust them or not. So I have confided in both siblings and friend and regretted it at some point in time. So I'm not understanding this question simply because I think maybe this person had left out a word, because the question reads, if there was one person that is capable of coming through for, who would that be and why? I'm trying to see how I would even, if there was one person that is capable for coming through for me, who would that be? Or if there was one person who I was able to come through for, who would that be and why? I'm not. Alright, I'm gonna answer both of them just in case you were asking. So if there's one person who I would be able to come through for, who would it be and why? It would be my little sister. Just because I want to see my little sister happy. I want to see her get to a point in life where like she's just, that girl. And she's already that girl, don't get it twisted now. But like, she's just finishing off uni, and I just wanted to be happy in her little job, with her boo thing, they doing whatever, and just seeing that they're happy. So if there's one person who I was able to come through for, it would be my little sister, and that's why. If there's one person that is capable of coming through for, who would that be and why? I feel like anybody can come through for me, man. Anybody who want to come through for me, come through for me. Next question. Is there one thing that has happened in your past that you regretted, and why? Like, there's one point, way back, not now. I used to take everything to heart, I used to take everything too deep, man. I'm like, listen, bro, honey, like, it's not that deep. Even if people think certain things and it's not true, like, I need to relax and just let them think what they're thinking. Not my problem, is it? So maybe that's what I regretted. I regretted taking everything, so deeply. But then, I was little. When I was a child, I thought as a child, Yeah. If you could live your life all over, what would you have done differently and why? Ooh. I'm gonna say, if I were to live it over, I would have maybe step out of my comfort zone a lot sooner. And like not be that shy and so forth. But I'm hesitating to say that because I do think ultimately everything that has led me to this point has happened for a reason. So I needed to go through all that. So I'm here now. And when I'm here now, I can be more empathetic with what I say. I can be more understanding with different people because I've been there before. And I have seen where people said stuff that offended me or hurt me away. And so I can understand if I say something to somebody else, that they might take it a certain way, even if I never meant it to, because I have been there. You know what I mean? So I guess if I lived my life over, the only thing I would have changed is making sure that I'm more serious about God from earlier. But I wouldn't change anything else. All my experiences, I would have gone through the same way. And maybe if there were things that I could have spoken out about so that I ensure that others around me didn't get hurt by it, maybe I would also do those things. So if I knew somebody wasn't necessarily good or I would have spoken out more so that others around me wouldn't have gotten hurt, but that's the only thing I would have changed. I think all my experiences have worked together to make sure that I'm here where I am currently. The next question, it says, 1, you're dating a guy and 6 months down the line you find out that he used to go out with your cousin. Bear in mind he didn't know that she was your cousin. What would you do? How do you move forward knowing that? You're dating a guy and 6 months down the line you find out he used to go out with your cousin. Bear in mind he didn't know that was your cousin. What would you do? How would you move forward? Actually, just rereading that, I wouldn't do nothing. So 6 months down the line, I found out that the guy I'm dating used to go out with my cousin. I wouldn't do nothing. Like, it's not like you knew this guy before and then he started taking up, because that would be out. I don't believe in that. I don't believe that whether a friend or a cousin, if you see their partner and then down the line, like you saw them when they were in a relationship and then down the line you're now go dating them. I don't believe in that. Like, nah, I'm not going to do that. But this now, you've met this guy, you've been talking to him, and down the line you find out that, at one point he's dating your cousin. I wouldn't do nothing with that. I would move forward. If you're pressed by it, you must be pressed by it. Because that's why you would ask it, innit? So, like, if you were pressed by it, I guess you could, I don't know, talk to the guy about it, see how deep him and your cousin were in, and it depends on your closeness with your cousin as well. Like, are you guys close, or is that like a far cousin? Like, are you guys like this? You know what I mean? And if you're like this, then talk to your cousin about it. If she's a problem, oh well, I'm joking. If she's a problem and you have a problem with it, then you decide if you want to give up your relationship for your cousin. Realistically, for me, I wouldn't do nothing. That was my cousin. You were used to date her. Okay, cool. Blah, 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 blah. Life goes on and we move. That's personally me. 6 months down the line, yeah, No. Next, what would you do if you know your cousin is cheating on his girlfriend? His girlfriend and I are very close. So you've spoken to him a few times about it, only to find out that his side piece is now pregnant. I am now put in this awkward situation and I feel like the biggest hypocrite because, for one, I know what it feels like being cheated on, and it's one of the worst things in the world, and two, she doesn't deserve this. What should I do? That's a deeper one now, because that's your cousin, right? You said, oh, that's your cousin cheating, but you and his girlfriend are very close. And you've spoken to him a few times about it already. Few, not once, not twice, a few times about it, right? And now you find out that his girl is pregnant. You feel bad because you're saying you feel like a hypocrite because you've been in a situation you know, and you know that she doesn't deserve this. What should you do? I cannot tell you exactly what to do because there's a number of factors that would dictate what you do in the situation. I don't know your cousin. I don't know your cousin's girlfriend, and I don't know what type of person you are. So I cannot come and give you a direct answer. What I will do instead is give you 3 questions and a thought that I tend to go by, which tends to guide my actions and hopefully will guide yours. The thought is this: do unto others what you would have them do unto you. Simply meaning, do to others what you yourself would want them to do to you if it were the reverse. So, my 3 questions, as I mentioned, I will not tell you what to do, but I will ask you 3 questions. If your answer to all 3 questions is yes, you need to tell her. If your answer to all 3 questions is no, then don't tell her. Do unto others what you would have them do unto you. And again, what you may want, even that thought is a caveat, because what you may want doesn't mean that that's necessarily what somebody else may want. You know, for example, me, if my friend knew that my partner was cheating on me, I would want my friend to tell me. That's my friend. I expect that you would have a certain amount of, you would come tell me. However, I do know people that have said, if my partner is cheating, do not tell me, I don't want to know. That's them. That's not me. So in that case, even though I would love to do to you what I would want to do done to myself, you have let me know that that's not what you want. Fair enough. So you see why I can't even say none, because I don't know this girl. I don't know if she wants to know her partner cheats. I don't know if she knows and doesn't care. I don't know. So I'm going to ask you this. Knowing this girl, because you said you and your cousin's girlfriend are pretty close, so you must know her to an extent. Does she? Would she? Is she interested to know? That's one. You know her well, so you should know. Would this girl want to know that her partner is cheating? Cool. 2. If you were in her shoe, would you want her to tell you? That's 2. And 3, if at a later date she found out that, her partner is cheating and the partner has another female pregnant, and she knew that you knew, would she be mad at you? If all your answers to those are no, then you know. And if all of those are yes, then again, you know. But I will not sit and tell you what to do. That is very touchy. And there are a lot of people who, have a lot of different thoughts on this for a number of different reasons. So it's a sticky one. But you will need to decide from what you know of this girl, from what you yourself feel compelled to do, and what you yourself would love to do, or would have loved to have happen to you. I hope that helps. And I hope that can kind of sway you in the direction you need to be. Not only that, but you did mention that you have spoken to the cousin a few times. So it's not like you haven't given him a chance. So maybe that's like a hard thing for you because you're saying, he's family and she's just like a friend. But you said you guys are very close, So you've spoken to him multiple times and he hasn't changed. You've given him a chance. So, I hope, listen, God goes with you. God go with you on that one, honey, because yeah, that's a sticky. I would not want to be in that position. I do not envy you at all. All right, next question. What would you do if your friend or sister, no, if your friend slash sister, so that means it's a friend but they're very close, did something which hurt your feelings and you've spoken to her about how you felt? She is not willing to see things from your or anyone's point of view and is now in her feelings about the whole situation when I'm the one whose name's been tarnished. Ooh, this is another sticky one, because you're saying your name's been tarnished and it's because your friend slash sister, so your sister friend, let me just say that, did something to hurt your feelings, and you try to speak to her about it, and you even try to include other people's point of view about it, and she's not listening to nobody. She's just in her feelings now. But your name is the one's been tarnished. So that, I don't get that then. Why would she be in her feelings if it's your name that's been tarnished? Why is she not feel her feelings and that she does something? That to me makes no sense. Because if she was the one who did something to upset you, or she's the one who caused something upset you, then she should not be in feelings. What's she in feelings for? Were you disrespectful to her? Did you have a conversation and have a cussing down? Like what? That's the first thing. So that I don't understand that. Like why she'd be in feelings if it's your name that's been tarnished. When they have a cussing out, when they sit down and talk, blah, blah. But I always do say this though. A clear head and conversation, honest, open conversation. I mean, conversing for understanding, not conversing just to respond. Because sometimes, a lot of times, people do that. We have these discussions only to respond, not trying to understand where each other are coming from. So maybe like back then when you had a conversation, it was still too fresh. So what you could do now is try again. You said that this is your sister friend, your friend's sister. So that means this friend is very close. You understand? And that's what I'm getting from this. It's a very close friend. And it's a very close friend. At the end of the day, like, you're different human beings. You will have different thoughts, processes, and you will have different opinions and stuff. Having a sister as our friend or sister friend doesn't mean that you guys will always think the same. It means that when there are differences in opinions, you guys should be both able to come together and sit down and say, all right, listen, sister, I never read this because it made me feel like this. And she can say, no, I never mean to do this, blah, blah, blah. You get what I mean? So, yeah, you guys will have disagreements, but the love, the connection, the fact that you call her sister friend, that tells me there's a deeper connection. It's not just a friend. You have sister friend, so that's like your sister, but that ain't blood. Therefore, work on it. Because you don't get a lot of sister friends in this lifetime. Like genuine friendships where there's no ulterior motives, where it's just love. And if that's just love, that means you can reproach in love. That means you can correct in love, as long as it's in love. Because sometimes things get heated and our tones and our voice become disrespectful. So it can make each other very combative rather than trying to resolve a situation, you know. So have a conversation. If you don't feel like having a conversation, or if you feel like if you two have a conversation by itself, it won't be productive, have somebody who you know can be an intermediary for you both. Like you can say to this person, yo, say for example, using me, say, yo, Ro, I want to have a conversation with XYZ. Can you please make we have a call and like this is my point of view and help, like just navigate it so we can talk and air out things and then to get back to it. Because if there's a sister friend, you don't want to lose that. All right, friendships, real friendship are rare, so cherish that. And yeah, if you need, you can let me know one-on-one if you ever need stuff, because I'm very good at stuff like that, you know. So yeah, that's what I would do. I would talk it out, because as I mentioned, after a time, things get heated and so forth. But yeah, next question. When do you want to have kids? Probably in another 2 years. Yeah, I want to have 2 years into my marriage before I get into kids. But if they come, they come. But I would personally want to give it another 2 years before they come. How many kids would you want to have? I would want to have 3 kids. Can you see yourself living elsewhere? All right, so that is yes. I can see myself living elsewhere. Where would it be and why? Besides Jamaica, of course. Okay, cool. So besides Jamaica, where else would I see myself? It would be another Caribbean island. I love warmth. I love the ocean. I love how beautiful we are. And I just get happy when I hear Caribbean accent. I absolutely love it. Where? I love St. Lucia. I've seen, we did travel around the island. And St. Lucia is beautiful. I still want to go to Anguilla and see what Anguilla has to offer. I'd love to visit Barbados. And I'd love to go to like Bahamas as well. And I also hear that Bermuda is beautiful. I've heard that. So I would love to visit Bermuda. But for the moment, for top of it, I would say St. Lucia. I would literally buy a house in St. Lucia, move down there. It's fresh, it's nice. It's a lot like Jamaica, but calmer. That is how I would impact St. Lucia. So maybe there. What advice would you give your younger self? Step out in faith. Yeah. Step out in faith, girl. God's got you. Step out in faith. What do you think your life would have been if, one, you never came to the UK, and choose to do uni in Jamaica, and two, if you've moved back to Jamaica after getting your bachelor's in the UK? Wow. Ooh, my life would have been a lot different. If I never came to the UK in the first place, I probably wouldn't have started a YouTube channel. That's one. I think, not that we didn't have internet back home, but I just wouldn't be in the mental space, I don't think, to start a YouTube channel. Like, yeah, the Wi-Fi, no, I probably wouldn't have done that. God knows, if I went to uni, I really didn't want to go to uni. I remember, like, my people would say, oh, you need to go to uni to go look at the campus just in case you don't get to go to England. I was always against. I was like, no, I'm not, nope. I shall be going to England. So I really don't know, what my life would have been. Who knows? I maybe would have probably started YouTube. Maybe I would have, I don't know, man. I don't know, because even now when I have conversations with my sister, and I guess in retrospect now, thinking about those conversations, it's like she was saying, Ro, I don't think you can come back to Jamaica and live, because you're so used to, how the UK system is and so forth. Like I said to her, like, so I buy some of Amazon this morning, right? And it's supposed to come tonight by 7, right? If it doesn't come, I'm like, yo, why am my packaging coming? Amazon playing, because it's going to be delivered tomorrow. And she's like, listen, girl, when I want packages to deliver, like, it takes weeks. You're complaining because it's going to come tomorrow. She's like, listen, or if I have something to go look for business and something, like, I'll go and I can get you in a day. She's like, in Jamaica, that would take you weeks or months even, And I guess it's because now I'm used to this system here. But you're asking, what if I never came here? So I guess I would be used to, I guess I'd just be a regular picnic, as just living in Jamaica, trying to get by like everybody else, child. Like, I probably wouldn't have ever touched any entrepreneurial endeavors. I probably would have still been in my little shell. I probably would have busted. I don't know. But I never sat and thought about what life would have been like if I wasn't here. I am very grateful to be here. I'm grateful for the opportunities I receive. I'm grateful for the courage that God gave me to push out and try something outside of the norm, and try something that I didn't see anyone doing. Because even this YouTube thing, I don't have a family member who does YouTube. You get what I mean? I don't know anyone who's doing YouTube. This was just me stepping out of totally on faith, loving something that I do, and thankfully now, years later, I'm starting to make some money off it. But no, I've never considered life without. And if I had when I finished my bachelor's, instead of going to do my master's, if I had gone back to Jamaica, and again, that would have been a culture shock again, because I'd gotten so used to, living over here at that point. That's a very good question. Never considered it, but as I mentioned, I don't think I'll be doing half the stuff I'm doing here now and have this deal and so forth. My life would have been a lot different. So we thank God for opportunities, and we thank God for progress. Yeah, that's a very good question. That's a very, very good question. And it just made me appreciate where I am more now. Thank you for that. Do you want to retire in a job or eventually do your own thing? I want to do both, actually. I do want to retire in a job, and I do want to continue having a job because it does give me a sure income at the end of every month. My salary is sure, like, regardless. I get days off where I have to do nothing and it pays. Whereas entrepreneurship, as you know, because the person who's asking me this is an entrepreneur herself, as you know, you get no off days. Like, you're literally marketing, accountant, you are the boss, you are the CEO, the CFO, you are everything. You don't get no off days when you're by yourself as an entrepreneur until you get to a certain level where you have people who you can delegate tasks to and so forth. But as a startup entrepreneur, it is extremely hard. So guys, if you're watching this and you know entrepreneurs out there, listen, show support when you can, man. These small businesses, that's why I repped so many small businesses in my wedding, because I know from first-hand experience that being an entrepreneur is extremely difficult. So I do want to start on my entrepreneurial journey again, but this time I'm going to start it with a bit more experience and step out in more faith, because there are things that I was holding back from doing when I initially launched my clothing business and so forth. So I will start it again, but I will also do it whilst in a job. So I will retire in a job and also be doing my own thing by the grace of Jesus. Amen. And the top 3 places that I want to visit: I want to visit Anguilla. I want to visit. I do want to have like a Caribbean island hopping thing. I want to visit all the Caribbean islands. Caribbean is beautiful. There's no place like it. I love the accent. I love the people. I love the food. So the Caribbean islands. That's my number 1. I do want to go to the Maldives. I do want to do that. And I want to go to Singapore. Yeah. That's the top 3. And I believe, guys, that is indeed the end of the questions. I hope that has given you a little more insight into who I am. And I hope you have enjoyed this video. Do subscribe and just continue to enjoy this channel, enjoy my journey, and as I go through life and I share things with you, hope that you enjoy them. All right, thank you guys for watching, and I shall see you in another video. Subscribe, drop your questions below if you want me to ask anything else or answer anything else. I'll try. I may do a part 2 to this if I get enough questions, or I'll answer you in the comments down below if I don't get enough questions. All right, do subscribe, do share this, and thank you guys as always for watching. See you in another video. Bye.